My name is Jocelyn, and I'm from Central New York. I've gone through some training programs, and this is my first big training. I'm going to be opening up a new clinic in June, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Great.
Well, my biggest concern was that this was going to be over my head, that there were going to be some really accomplished hypnotists here, and that the material was just going to be too much for me, too complex. And I found out that really wasn't true at all. I mean, I got so much out of it, and I'm so happy that I came. It was really wonderful. I mean, it was like one eureka moment that lasted for 4 whole days, you know. It was a ton of incredibly useful information, and I feel more capable and more excited about opening my clinic now. Well, I decided to come because I've been enrolled in the mentorship program with Scott and Heather, and heard that they were doing this training, and called them up, and I said, do you think this is too much for me, or do you think that this would be something that I would benefit from? And they said, yes, definitely, you will definitely benefit from it. I think the most important thing I gained from the training is that that I don't really have to worry so much about whether or not I'm doing this right if I develop a connection to God and trust that connection to create in me a conduit to give the person that I'm working on the kind of message that they need to hear. And that was a huge relief for me. You know, obviously I'm going to be learning the techniques, and I'm going to be studying the scripts and everything, but to just take the big pressure off me is to say that, you know, if I just connect up to God and open my heart, that the right things will come out. I was genuinely surprised at some of the information. I thought it was going to be dried, you know, cut and dried, clinical, this is what you say, and this is the script, and this is the process, and this is that. And there was so much more to it, you know, there was so much more information and things that I could use on myself, and, you know, healing of personal issues, which was just a wonderful gift of this weekend, I think. I was surprised. There's just so much more to it. It was a really amazing and like I would even say transformative experience for me.
Great. My name is Dan Bureau, and I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I'm a geriatric psychologist. Well, I decided to come to the training with Scott and Heather because I had met Scott probably at least 10 years ago. So he had opened up a clinic in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where I live, and I had a chance to meet him. And over time, I just become very interested in stage hypnosis and wanted to add some of that skill to what I was already doing as a clinician. I also developed an interest in magic, which I knew that Scott was very involved in as well, and he has that brings a particular set of gifts to what he does that I was hoping to learn more about. And so I reached out to him the end of 2014 and had a couple of conversations with him and ended up here. He said this would be a good place to start, and it very far as insights. I mean, that really is the interesting thing about the training that we had is, you know, I certainly learned a great deal about technique. I certainly learned a great deal about hypnosis and metaphor and interesting things like that. But the other piece of it is how much I learned about myself. That idea that it is ourselves, it is who I am and my relationship to people that really is the foundation of hypnosis. And so, you know, we could learn techniques till we're blue in the face, but that's, you know, everything that we do as a hypnotist or as a hypnotherapist, you know, is built on me and who I am and how I present myself and my communication patterns and my ability to interact and connect with people. And that really was the insight, was just the fact that there was so much focus. You know, for someone who, if you're interested in hypnosis, if you're interested in neurolinguistics, if you're interested in demonstrational hypnosis, any of those things, and you're coming at it from a clinical perspective, from a mental health perspective, be you a counselor, social worker, psychologist, psychiatrist. Working with Scott and Heather is really an excellent decision on your part, and it's particularly a great place to start, because the skill of hypnosis is something that you will certainly learn. But interestingly enough, that will be the least interesting thing that you'll learn, because really, again, what makes this training different is the fact that it's built on an idea that it is your actual connection with other people, your ability to do that, your awareness of yourself, how you communicate, who you are, and what you're actually bringing into that in that interaction that we call hypnosis. That's the foundation of hypnosis. And so if you're going to a workshop where you're just learning hypnosis, the technique of hypnosis, you're cheating yourself. So you can choose to do that, or you can choose to do something that gives you a little wider picture. And I think that from a clinical side, that's worth everything. 4 days I've been at this particular training, 4 days. And I've learned an enormous amount about who I am and how that is presenting itself in relationship with others, how it's presenting itself in my interactions. So if I'm going to go home and do any clinical work, again, who I am is what I'm bringing to the table. That is, in essence, the foundation of everything. So I'm actually going to be fascinated to see what's going to change when I get home. As far as what will, I wonder that myself, and I couldn't be more curious or more pleased to see how it's going to play out. What you'll get from the Christian Hypnosis Association is it's a community. And that really is the interesting part of it, as opposed to going to a training where you go and you learn your techniques or you get your handouts or whatever. But what you're actually getting here is a community, and that idea that not only do we need to have that feedback from a community, but we also need to have a responsibility to a community. And that's what helps us grow, and it helps us develop not only as a person, but as a clinician, as a professional, whether you be mental health or whether you be a hypnotist. It doesn't matter. It really is the essence of the community, the group, the joining with that really seems to be everything. And that's why I would recommend the Christian Hypnosis Association.
Trisha Fuller from Alberta, Canada. I really benefited from this training because I learned how to let go of the small things, quit focusing on all the little connections, and start looking at the bigger picture, connecting to my clients in a loving way. I learned how I actually know the right answers if I tune in and connect up, and I don't have to worry about reading 1,000 books. I'll still continue to learn, but the pressure is off about knowing the right answer, because if I tune into the client properly and I tune in to God, then I will be able to find the right answer, the solution that client needs or my students need, or friends, or even family. So the benefit that I'll take home from it is exponential, in that it's not just for my work, it's for my personal relationships as well. The approach that the Christian Hypnosis Association takes is from such a loving way that everyone could benefit from this type of training, no matter the level of Christianity that you're used to experiencing. I was worried that I wouldn't know enough about the Bible, or wouldn't know enough about the stories or the parables or different people in the Bible, and that I couldn't possibly compare to the others in their knowledge level. But it really didn't have to do anything with the knowledge, like the actual knowing all the content. It didn't matter if I didn't know all the content, I still learned. And it was more about what is the greater meaning of being connected to God and the love in your heart, and taking Him in and accepting Him wholly, instead of again worrying about not knowing enough. But that's just part of the things that I let go during this training, is that You don't have to know all the books, and you don't have to know the entire content of the Bible. You know enough to be able to do this training right now. It just made me know more that I do connect to God, and that I love God, and that's enough. That I'm enough.
Hi, I'm Marge Perry. I'm from Redding, California, and I'm a hypnotist and own a clinic in Redding called Inspire Hypnosis.
And why did you decide to come to the Christian Hypnosis Association training in Fort Myers, Florida?
Well, I've known Scott and Heather for quite a while, and I've done a lot of my training with Scott, and I really trust that Scott is taking the hypnosis field in a wonderful direction, and it's really needed. And I was excited to be one of the first people to go to this particular training on being a Christian in hypnosis.
Were there any changes that you made or insights you gained from this 4-day training?
Absolutely, and I'm still mulling them over, but the main thing I think I've gotten is that I believe my hypnosis clients are going to benefit as well as me, because now I just see that all this information is coming through me when I'm in prayer, and that I can help people so much more when I'm full of God in my heart, and being aware of stepping into that, being at my best resourceful state, and then sharing the outcome with the client, or helping them reach their outcome through this method. I am so happy that Scott McCall and Heather McCall have created the Christian Hypnotist Association. I think it's just going to continue to grow and make hypnosis a really household name, I believe, because it's for total good, and all the myths about hypnosis can really be dispelled by going with this approach, and people can really know that they're getting the very best treatment and help through this organization, because both Scott and Heather are so full of integrity and intention to help people reach their goals and their connection to God. I think it's just going to make my life easier. I'm going to be able to let go of a lot of the debate in my head and worry, and just give that to God, and just fill my heart with love and good intention. And I think that's so much easier than going into debate and worry and being self-conscious, which is often where I've gone in the past.
I don't know whether you have resolved.
I came here with pretty much an open mind and a curiosity. I wasn't sure what I was going to be learning, if we'd be reading the Bible all weekend, or how he was going to apply the Bible to, and the concepts of the Bible and the disciples to hypnosis. And it was wonderful. I'd say almost subtle, and utilizing all of the tools that they've had all together, they've been creating for years, and now bringing it in this new package that really works. It really works.
I'm Kelly Smith. I have a practice, a hypnosis practice in Los Angeles, California. And I've been practicing for a little over a year.
What's the reason you decided to come to?
Well, I had heard a lot about them, and my mentor, Dr. Vicki Thomas, had told me a lot about them, and I used some of their other systems, and I've spoken to Scott on the phone and gotten a lot out of just a 10-minute conversation. So I thought 4 days would be life-changing, and it was. I came in pretty fearful, to be honest. I didn't really know what to expect. I had a lot of ideas, and they were pretty much all wrong. What I found was that the information it's just beyond. Like, it's incredible. It's enough information to fill 10 years of practice, in just 4 days. for me, the fear of coming into it was completely squashed, and I felt comfortable right away. Well, I'll say after the second day, because he was able to shift me out of my fear. Yeah, I think that answers that. What I gained from this training is going to dramatically improve my practice. I'm going to be able to help so many more people, and the people that are in my office are going to be, I have every confidence that their lives are going to be changed for the better. I feel like a truly much more skilled change worker thanks to this conference. Okay, if you are considering taking the Christian hypnosis training, perhaps you were a little like me and were confused or concerned about the name of the association, or for me, what I had associated with Christianity in the past. I was a little bit hesitant. So if that is the case with you, I would say come and experience it, because it was nothing. It was nothing that I had expected it to be. It was a very kind and gentle way to bring the right energy into your life in order to help other people. The Christian approach to hypnosis for me now means that I bring the energy of unconditional love into every session with my client, that I'm able to take myself completely out of it. It's not about my ego. It's not about how well I can do the skill set. It's about truly connecting with the client and being able to give them what they need to forever change their life. And it's a real gift. I have observed that Scott and Heather McCall are extremely brilliant and really skilled and able to read people and to help them to reach fast change. So anything that they offer, I'll be attending as often as I can. Hopefully that answers.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to just, let me see here.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't really care about the Bible before I came here. It didn't really seem like something that was relevant to my life, that I really needed to spend any time reading. And now I find that the Bible could be a really incredible tool to help my clients from any walk of life, which is pretty surprising. I mean, I honestly came in thinking this was going to be a church revival, and they're going to throw it down your throat, and you're going to have to convert, and pushy. But it wasn't that way at all. It was truly just about taking in the gift of unconditional love and using the Bible as a tool to help.
I decided to come to this training to improve all aspects of professional and personal life, and I've accomplished that goal because of the techniques that are supported by the Christian Hypnosis Society and training are the best and most effective and proven techniques in the industry, and I trust the trainers, Scott and Heather, very, very much. I was concerned of maybe some of the amounts of change that were possible and how they would affect my life. It was really something I didn't take it into account that much, but nervous excitement comes before every good thing that happens, so I had plenty of that.
Okay.
I took away an overall sense of wholeness personally, and a very detailed and strong perspective of exactly what should happen in a professional atmosphere, what should be taken away in a professional atmosphere, and how to lead clients into change and tremendous change in that atmosphere. Yes, what I'd like to say is this is something that if you want to find that success, if you're ready to focus and get into a place in your mind where you can allow yourself that success in personal life, in relationships, in your professional life, that only then is this the right training for you. So when you really come to grips with the fact that you can be successful, this is where you end up.
My name is Angela McClanahan, and I am from Burlington, Ontario, and I just recently opened the Guelph Hypnosis Works Hypnosis Center.
And why did you decide to come to the Christian Hypnosis Association?
Well, I've been with training with Scott before, and I knew no matter what, I would definitely learn something. So I came here to absorb whatever I could and see how I could incorporate and become a better Christian and incorporate Christianity into my life and into what I want to do with my clients. It's life-changing. It's something that I wouldn't miss, and I wouldn't want anyone else to miss. If you're going to be helping and being a change worker with anyone else, or even making changes for yourself, this is something very, very important that will take it to the next level.
My name is Robbie Spear-Miller, and I'm from Burlington, Ontario, Canada. I came to the Christian Hypnosis Association training because I'm a very experienced hypnotist. I've been doing this for many years, and I've seen tons of people. And I have already found that a lot of the metaphors and concepts of Christianity help people a great deal, and so I wanted to learn more and increase my depth of that and learn more about the different metaphors and ways of living and looking at things to help people. Well, my background is Jewish. I'm not practicing Jewish, but I do, if I was going to say I was a religion, that's what it would be. I work in a community where there aren't a lot of Jewish people, and I'd say most people probably come from a Christian background, but they're not necessarily feeling connected with the church. So, if I advertised about being Christian to come to see me, I would lose a lot of clients. I find that the best way to communicate about this with my clients is to use it as a metaphor, so I can refer to it as being Christian, but when it's more metaphorical, it's easier for anybody to integrate it, and I find that people don't resist it when you talk about it that way. So I find it's just more accessible to more people. Well, I think the big thing is that it's not really about skills, it's about understanding how to be in faith and feel good in that mode, and to live your life from that place. So instead of coming at life from a place of fear, it's coming at life from a place of faith, and that's really what we're teaching people when we do hypnosis. So I think that the learning here is very experiential, and you have to have that experience in yourself to be able to help other people with it. I would strongly recommend that anybody comes here, and the thing that I wasn't sure about when I was coming was how open the attitudes would be towards somebody like me who's Jewish, or there were other people in the class who come from ways of living that aren't necessarily consistent with traditional Christianity, and I think that Scott did a wonderful job of being very open about it. It wasn't about rules or judgment. It was really about a way of living. And so I think anybody could benefit from this, no matter what background or culture they're from, no matter how they think right now. I think anybody could benefit.
I'm Jim Thomas from Palmdale, California.
And I'm Vicki Thomas, obviously from Palmdale, California.
And
for me, it was part of bonding and bringing us back together, and in a way that God is flowing through us. And that was really important for me to be here with him and have him be a part of that.
And well, the reason why I'm here obviously is because of Vicki, but also I wanted to learn more about the Christianity and religion in hypnosis, because we're helping people already with hypnosis, but to do it with God's help also is a really big thing.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
And what are the reasons you'd recommend Scott and Heather McCall at the Christian Hypnosis Association?
Why settle for less? They're the masters.
Yeah, and that Scott and Heather have this abundance of compassion and caring that just overflows throughout all the people that they teach, and that made it such a powerful seminar or conference that for me, Scott, no one else could have done it but Scott and Heather. We as hypnotists know that we can't control someone's mind. However, we as hypnotists who are Christians know that faith in your practice, faith in hypnosis, faith in the people coming in, and God's light showing through us will make everything more powerful in helping the other people.
For me, it was a greater realization and a lot more knowledge and an easier way to understand the knowledge that I already knew, but it was expanded on so I could understand it a lot better and to help other people.
And for me, I've always had my faith, and this was just a simpler transition into bringing faith into my business and allowing that to shine through. Where prior to this conference, it's almost held separate. Like you're almost socially not allowed to ask about faith or talk about faith in a professional business. So this helped me to make that conversion, to be able to have my faith flowing through my business. I think that they are a safe place to learn, for people to open their hearts. Basically, that it's a safe place for people to be.
Straight up, no secondary gain, just straightforward learning and love. Now, I was really happy to be here with my wife Vicki, with my extended family.
I am Dominique McCall, and I grew up in Bismarck, North Dakota. I live in Berkeley right now. I am a seminary student. I am also Scott McCall's daughter, and so this training has been, for me, reorienting. And so what I'm passionate about people knowing is that regardless of intentions or anything like that, we're really capable of getting disoriented. And so trainings like this with people that have your best interest at heart and are connected to God and care only about sharing that, that is something we all need. I'm going to share this, and first I'm going to share why I'm hesitant to share it, is that I want for people that are in churches to continue to have a good experience in that. I'm going to be a pastor, and I'll leave it at that. God will love you through the people around you, and so it's not our job to judge one another, even your pastor. But your pastor and myself are completely capable of being deceived, or of getting caught in sin in ourselves, or of having too much pressure, or of whatever, and getting I had my own self-interest at heart, and that's not what I was created for. So, and that's also not what you were created for. And so my biggest challenge was getting out of my own way and letting go of really valid, really real reasons to protect myself, and realize that when I'm in line with God, those things are just not relevant. So, yeah.
And what would you say to other pastors or ministers or servants of God about a training with the Christian Hypnotist Association?
It's going to challenge a lot of things, and that's awesome. And you've been challenged before, and you spent a lot of time really caring about doing this profession right. And this training will help you allow that care to be directed in the right direction.
Okay. Hi, I'm Julie Nice from Houston, Texas, and I came to the Christian Hypnosis meeting to learn a lot, and I got way more than I bargained for. I was able personally to do a lot of different changes that were really, really important to me, and the whole idea of connecting faith to everything I'm doing at work and in the office and for my clients was deeply, deeply important and personal to me. So I was really happy to be able to have this kind of learning and this kind of training, and it all happened in just a really relaxed, pleasant way. So I really appreciate the training. I'll be back.
My name is Jay Luck. I'm from Appleton and Green Bay, Wisconsin.
And Why did you come to the Christian Hypnosis Association training?
Well, I came because I was familiar with Mike Wiest and of course, Scott McCall, who I'd gotten to know over the last few years in my hypnosis practice, and I was very, very excited to find out they were going to talk about the Christianity part of hypnosis, because in most circles, hypnosis is not thought of as having anything even close to do with Christianity, and yet in my practice I found out that it has everything to do with it. And so I was really excited to come here, and it's what I've learned from it is it's amazing how powerfully hypnosis ties into Christianity. He had a lot of belief in Scott McCall and what he stood for, and his experience in the hypnosis business and hypnosis and helping clients tremendously. That his understanding is to help clients free themselves of things they feel stuck with, and you know, if you look at a biblical standpoint, God is about telling us we have choice. You know, there's recommendations for how we should be or what we should believe, like the golden rule is a good recommendation, but we have choice whether we do it or not. And oftentimes when we feel stuck, it's because we don't think we have choice. And so what this practice is all about is teaching people that they have choice in a biblical fashion, you know, but also in simple things like losing weight or quitting smoking or things like that. The biggest thing I got from the 4-day training this week was that we also as hypnotists have choice, that we have a choice that we can let God work through us. Well, not that we need to allow God to work through us instead of thinking that we can't do some things, that we, in fact, if we're connected with our relationship with God, then that gives us more ability to help our clients, and yet understanding all the way through that it is not us that's helping our clients, it's our relationship with God that lets us help our clients better. I know for a fact that what I've learned here is going to help me help more clients even better and more deeply than ever before. So not just to help someone quit smoking or lose weight or reduce anxiety, but to help them shift spiritually, which will change a lot more than losing weight. It'll be like they get connection with understanding that they get to control their emotions and feelings, and then losing weight becomes a byproduct, or quitting smoking becomes a byproduct, or less anxiety becomes a byproduct. The Christian Hypnosis Association is simply here for God to help more people see the connection that they really have with God's Spirit.
Great.
My name is Michael Wiest from San Diego, California. We came to the Christian Hypnosis Association's first meeting and had a blast. Boy, it's really surprising what you can learn in a short amount of time, and it's been not only life-changing, but it's sort of like looking forward to all the wonderful things that we can do with it. Thank you for asking. The differences we've noticed, or I'm noticing, is tying in our faith and belief in God and Christ has taken it to a whole new level. I've watched people make changes quickly and wonderfully and lovingly. People that we've known for years that are involved in the field that we're in and stepping up into their faith have become very quickly wonderful examples of the case for God, for Christ. It's one of a kind. The Christian Hypnosis Association is what I would think the first of its kind, and sorely needed. In our industry, I think we've gotten off track. We've gotten out of the Christ consciousness, and this is sorely needed, and has been. It's been in the making for quite a while, and we're very excited to see that happen. Boy, the timing of this happening in the world couldn't be better. I think our country and beyond that needs more of something like this. What I would say would be, well, first off, very direct. I would challenge them to step into their faith and step up with their faith. I believe that they'll find answers that they've always looked for in hypnosis or the field of hypnotic process. I think it would be an amazing shift to see people go from left brain to right brain to God. And if they really were to be truthful inside and level, they would understand this is their roots. And I look forward to them doing that. We're beyond excited that this is finally moving forward.
What will you do in your career and your personal life now that you've changed and made the decision to get involved with the Christian Hypnosis Association?
Good question. Thank you for asking. Wow. Well, first off, connecting to my faith and connecting through my wife and family are very important. And I believe that doing this seminar and plugging in is and will continue that to happen, to connect. I look forward to seeing people like you and others and watching this grow. Boy, just imagine, seeing thousands of people connecting to Christ and making a difference, through the Bible. It doesn't get any better than that.
So tell us about yourself. What's your name? Where are you from? And what do you do?
My name is Rita Webpart, and I am a hypnotist, and I live in Washington, D.C.
And what's the reason you decided to come to the Christian Hypnosis Association training?
Well, I've worked with Scott before, and I just love his training. He's fabulous. He's just an excellent trainer, and so I was excited to get an opportunity to learn under him again. And I don't care what he's teaching; I'm interested.
And
they truly care, and they're very straightforward about what's what. You don't have any questions about how they feel or their experience. They have a lot of experience, both of them, between them. They're probably tops in their field, quite frankly, and they share it very generously. They are very caring. They genuinely care about the people that they work with, and they want to see us succeed. And you can tell that from the way that they deal with us. They're very in depth in the way that they work with you, and they work with you on a level where you understand things in your own way, and I like that. I experienced that helps me quite a bit in this training is reconnecting my spirituality into the hypnosis, so that I can also find myself reconnecting not only to just the individual that I'm working with, but also understanding their connections to everyone else that they're around, that's in their life, because their connections are as important. So making a full connection with the light and with God tends to bring in the whole picture of the person. What I would say to other hypnotists that are considering training with Heather McCall and Scott McCall, do it. You will not regret it. I feel that I've gotten some more skills. And I also feel that I've cleared away a lot of my clutter, which that's very important for hypnotists to do, is to make sure that they're not falling into any kind of countertransference. And clearing away my own clutter is something that is very important to do regularly, and quite a bit of it got cleared this weekend. The people who come here are a wide variety of people, but the thing they all have in common is love in their hearts. And you can feel it in the group. It kind of grows through the whole experience, and it's just a lovely experience being around everyone, getting to know them, getting closer to them. It's a fabulous group.